Okay, I just renewed my registration for my motorcycle. Yep, sunk more money into this beast. Wasn't too bad. It was $66.88, $66. So wasn't too bad. Unlike one of my previous motorcycles, it was really heavy, so they charged me about, I think about 90 bucks. This one's a light bike actually. Maybe taxes have changed, I don't know. Usually they go up, they don't go down. Maybe it's cheaper elsewhere. I don't know. Compared to my vehicle, I paid like what, 150 bucks, 200 bucks for my vehicle. I guess my car is much heavier. The motorcycles have a different rate or something, I don't know. So yeah, going back to my toolbox, I'm having issues with, I'm trying to figure out if I should sell my tools and my toolbox, where I wouldn't get really much money for it because there's really no machinist here in Hawaii. And I probably wouldn't get a lot of money for it if I put it on eBay or something. It took me 8 years to accumulate those tools. And this toolbox, man, I got a really glorious toolbox. Prices have gone up, so if I were to replace what I had painfully pieced together, man, it just cost me an arm and a leg, and I don't know if I'd be able to do it again so readily. It'd be extremely difficult, very, very difficult. So anyway, the downside to shipping my toolbox is that first of all, I need the space. I need someplace to put my toolbox. My toolbox is it's huge. It's not a double decker, it's just a single decker, but it's a 40-inch toolbox, meaning it's 40 inches across. On the long side, you know, is it 40 inches? I think so, yeah, something like that. And the other problem is that it's heavy. The toolbox, because it has thick gauge steel, it's not like your Craftsman toolbox. This toolbox weighs about 228 pounds, as I remember, empty, without any tools in it. Okay, the casters are just really heavy, and you throw the toolbox together with all the shelving, it ends up being about that much, 225 pounds. And when it's fully loaded, it's about 1,000 pounds. It's extremely heavy, and that's like one of my big concerns, one of my major concerns. So I got this 1,000 pounds to ship, and it seems to me maybe I'm better off putting it on a pallet and like putting it on a pallet, like a modified pallet, and putting it and shipping it by freight. I know it's gonna cost me like maybe $500 to $1,000 to ship this thing because it's so freaking heavy. Now, getting this toolbox to the freight forwarder is something else too. That's a problem, because this thing is a behemoth. Like, it's huge, and it's so heavy, and I have to empty out the toolbox contents or take out the shelves one by one, and then I live on the second floor of my apartment, so I gotta take it down my apartment, I have to take it downstairs, and then I have to get it to a truck, get it to port or something, and this is just no fun. I'm not liking this at all. I am not liking it. I'm hating it, actually. So, what to do? My toolbox. I got a lathe that I need to sell too, and I think I can sell that. That thing weighs about 200 pounds, and I can crate it up and ship it. It's a watchmaker's lathe, and I never got around to completing it. It's a lathe that was put together from, this lathe was from the 1910s, and it was found in a chicken coop. And what preserved the lathe, this was a chicken coop here in Hawaii. Now, what preserved the lathe was that the lathe was covered with chicken crap, and it crusted the whole thing, and it preserved it and prevented it from corrosion. Incredibly, believe it or not. So I have this antique lathe that's been restored, and what it's missing is it's missing a chuck, and it's just missing a few pieces of hardware, like to lock down the carriage. Yeah, it's missing very, very little, and it's been really fully restored. And it uses a sleeve bearing, and it's extremely precise. It has two ways, meaning it has the way where the carriage sits on top, and you can actually bolt a second carriage on the back so that you can cut gears, and you can make a Rose engine, and all kinds of fancy stuff on it, like they used to do with fancy pocket watches. They used to decorate the face of watches and stuff. And yeah, believe it or not, at one time I was into that kind of stuff. My former boss was a clockmaker, and he built a clock himself, and he called one of those people horologists. So I thought that was pretty cool too, because I like the artistic aspect of machining rather than making stuff for industry. I like the artistic part of machining is, just making beautiful artwork. But I never put in the time, and I never really had the space to do all this stuff. And it was an old dream, and the old dream died. So I don't know if I will see that dream again. Maybe in the future, when I get my own place, get my own garage, get my own machine shop, I might revisit that dream. Not a lot of machinists around, and even fewer horologists. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Great. I caught the traffic right now. This is like the wrong time to be out at 3:30. Just really the wrong time. You see, in California, I guess there's lane splitting, so even with traffic, you can still manage to cut between or pass the cars, and it'd be a piece of cake. It might slow you down a little. You can't go full bore, but at least you'll be passing cars and getting home. I think that's really one of the aspects I'm looking forward to. One of the I guess you could say features that I'm really looking forward to in California, man. Just freaking no traffic, just blasting through and riding through, man. That I'm gonna like.